Hey, good day, everybody. My name is Bill Warner, and I'm with Entradot, as you already know. Hey, this is the third video in this series on entrepreneurship in action. This is all about the experience an entrepreneur is going to go through when they want to start a company. And I don't care if you're a brand new entrepreneur, this is your first time through this, or this is your sixth time through this. This kind of stuff you've got to get under your belt before you start anything serious. So here's the third video, and it's on research. You got to figure out what this market is all about, right? So before we get started, though, commercial time, da 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 da. I urge you to subscribe to our Entradot YouTube channel, on which this video, as well as the first two in this series, as well as many, many other playlists on the subject of how to start and run your own company. And we got videos on leadership and management and marketing and sales and development, lots of stuff. So come join us on YouTube as well. But look, when you go there, make some comments. I'll respond to them. I appreciate your feedback. When we go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, please do the same. Join me. We cover some of these very same subjects, but from a different angle, usually, giving a further perspective, and this time on research. So let's get on into it. What's research all about anyway? It's figuring out what your market is, of course. Your market, the place that you're going to put all your effort and try to figure out all about it so that you can successfully reach the potential customers in this market because you really know who they are in depth. You really know, because guess what? In this research phase, you're going to meet a few of them. So get ready. So we're going to look at the market. Let's unpeel this onion a little bit and figure out what getting into this market is all about. Hey, the first thing you think about usually is, how big is this market? Its size. You can measure its size, and you can get this data from all sorts of consulting reports. If you have any doubts about being able to figure this out, use Google, first of all, as your friend. Look up a market by name. You could go to your community library and ask the librarian for help on research papers that they might have. If you're associated with a university or you know somebody with one of the local universities, those that have business schools, go there and they'll probably have all of what you need to know about your market. So figure out how big it is, which of course what you're looking for is the biggest, but you also want to know that it's growing, not flattening, not declining. So it's kind of tough to enter a declining market unless you got something really revolutionary that's going to turn that curve around. Probably not the case. And as a startup, you probably don't want to take that on. So size the market. Make sure you've got a good understanding of its size and its breakdown. Markets are not just one thing. Markets are subdivided into sub-markets. Some people call those market segments. You want to figure out and go deeper and deeper into your market analysis and select the market segment, which is a subset of the larger market that's growing. What is this subset you are going after? And describe it in your market research material. That's eventually going to appear in your business plan. So size it, segmentize it, select the market you're going to play in. Then do some more research and figure out, well, what makes this market tick? What are the drivers that cause this market to occur in the first place? Markets are made up of people and companies, people who buy things, companies who buy things. Well, what's driving their need for whatever it is that you're selling? Remember, you've figured out what your premise is for your business, so you're looking for something in particular here, not just anything. What are the trends that also cause this market to be what it is today? Trends in regulatory activities, trends in buying patterns, trends in age groups, things that cause this market to change and shift and re-emphasize in certain arenas. Know about what makes this market tick. And it's made up of influencers all over the place. Who are the people and what are the organizations and what are the regulatory agencies that tweak this market and cause it to act differently? And what are the trends that make it really attractive? You want to be in a market that is not that regulated and there's no threat of it. You don't need that happening to you. And you need trends that say, by golly, this is going to be a long-standing market. Even though it's big and it's still growing, it's going to continue to grow, and here's why. Your trends will tell you that. Then what I like to do is draw a picture of this market. I'm kind of a visual guy, and I draw boxes and arrows pointing to them and to show relationships. Who is participating in this market is what you're wanting to find out. I call them market players. You can call them what you want. Market participants is another way to describe them. But who are the manufacturers that are involved? Who are the distributors and wholesalers and development organizations? Those kinds of players are the ones I'm talking about. Show how they relate to the overall delivery of a product or a service, and show on this picture that you're drawing where you fit in. You could be a developer. You could be a marketing organization. You could be a service provider. Where do you fit in? And how do you relate to these players in this market? Because you're going to be either working with them or you're going to be working against them. You want to know who your friends are, and you want to know who your friends are not. Because you got to deal with that. So then what do we get to next? And that's the buyers. The people, companies, people within companies, or if you're in the e-commerce world, purchaser of your products, the buyers. I use that as a generic term, meaning all of them. Who are they? Now, what do I mean by that? You don't need to know their names just yet. You're going to know their names once you start, making sales calls and things like that. But who are they demographically? So demographics are ways to describe their characteristics. Age group, salary level, education. In the commerce world, families of four, family income, location. These are characteristics of buyers. You want to know the demographics of who you're selling to so that you actually can figure out how to reach them. Why do you want to reach them? Well, you want to reach them with your marketing programs, of course. You want to know, well, are these buyers going to be more like those that I reach through email campaigns or by referral from people I know, or are they going to be responsive to online advertising, and the list goes on. You want to know how to reach them. The other thing you want to know is their buying preferences. What does it take to close a deal with any of these people? If it's commerce, it's price, function, things like that. Promotions. People want to bargain sometimes. So you know the preferences of your e-commerce buyers. If you're B2B kind of people, you want to know a lot about the company you're selling to and how you close a deal. Generally speaking, they're all going to be slightly different from one another, but what are the major patterns of how you're going to have to sell? The kind of individual you're going to be selling to, by their corporate title. VP of marketing. I'm going to sell to the VP of development. I'm going to sell to the CEO, whoopee, because we're going to do a major uplift of their IT structure, and he or she's going to be involved in that. Not involved, going to make this decision. What I'm talking about is the buying preferences of these people. Know how it's going to work. Are you going to have to be confronted by a budget committee? Is it going to be their contract or ours? Things like that. The details of how you're going to have to respond to an interested B2B customer, and what you got to look forward to, and how you're going to have to close deals with them. The next is a biggie, and you probably know a lot about this already, but you really have to know who you're up against. Remember, a competitor is any company or entity or group of people that are trying to address the same needs you are. Same needs, not necessarily the same kind of solution. They could go about serving that need in an entirely different way than you. But they're going to be calling on the same people you're going to be calling on, so know that. But what you also have to know is what you're up against in terms of their marketing, sales, strengths, and weaknesses. You will do what's known as a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for them and for yourself. You're going to rigorously figure out what their weaknesses are, and you're going to exploit them. You want to know their strengths, and you have responses to what they're able to do very well. You got to show that you're in this race too. So your SWOT analysis is very important to do, but after the SWOT analysis, define the marketing and sales strategy that's going to show that you're going to prevail when you're up against them in the marketplace. So use your SWOT analysis to create part of your marketing and sales plan. Then, once you've figured this out, yes, I'm going to talk about focus, so stop frowning at me. So there, focus, focus, focus. That's what I'm going to talk about. So get ready. You've heard it in probably every third video that I ever do. But look, once you've figured this out, stay on target here. This is your market. These are the customers you're going to try to sell to. This is what you know about them. You've assessed your own strengths and weaknesses. You've got a competitive strategy. You've got competitive differentiation resulting from that analysis. Use all that material to go after what you just got through figuring out. Don't change to something else because some advisor like me said, well, have you considered this market over here? Don't do that. Say, no, Bill, I haven't, and I'm not going to right now. And I was like, oh, okay, you're focused, aren't you? Be focused. You got it. In Entredot, in our process, or what we take people through, we call this step in business planning conceptualization. You are determining the fundamental concept of this business, and that is its market. So that's how we can help you. If you need help on this, I can send you information about conceptualization. We have videos on it. In addition to this video here that you'll be able to see in the Entrepreneurship in Action playlist. But when we're all said and done here, what did I just say to you? Know your market. Got that? Know your market. Know it well. Know it better than your competitors. When you know your market and you're winning, you're going to have a great day.